Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods this Friday morning. And guys, girls, look down there. 69 days, 12 hours, 34 minutes, and 45 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. We're under 70. Now, make sure you guys tune in tonight. Special edition of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Vosh Lombardi, the mouth that roars in town. And we're going to go out to the fire pit here and have a square table, because it's square, at the fire pit, and have a discussion. DMV Dallas Cowboys, he'll be doing his show 8 o'clock from here. E2 Blue, the new daddy, is going to be here as well. So tune in tonight. We'll have a discussion, and hopefully I can get a few words in edgewise. But here we go, guys. We're getting close to train camp. We're under a month for that. 2 weeks from this weekend is the big autograph signing show in Chantilly. We'll be seeing Michael Gallup. We'll see Randall Cobb. We'll see the governor, as well as other players like former players, Randy White, Ed Too Tall Jones, and things. So definitely we're going to have an action-packed filled July. But we're going to get through June here the next couple of days. But here's the interesting thing as I go through comments and things on the channel from Facebook and YouTube and everything else. And there's an overarching theme where people will go through and they'll trash the Dallas Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott and things like that. And they'll say, you're going to pay Dak Prescott and you've got the 22nd in the NFL point scoring offense. What a joke. Well, technically, that is true. But if you honestly do not look at the season last year and say that that was the tale of two stories, there was before AC and after AC. And we know how AC will cool a place down. When you look at the numbers of before Amari Cooper and after, it's totally different. The Cowboys had the perfect storm of this offense starting out terrible. You lose Des Bryant, you lose Jason Witten, and you really did not have a number one to replace him. You end up having Paul Alexander as an offensive line coach. You tried to change that to a zone blocking scheme. And what happened when Amari Cooper came? You got a true number one, a guy that was happy to be here. But it wasn't just that. Getting rid of Paul Alexander and going away from that zone blocking, having Marco Colombo going back to the style that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line was used to. They ended up blocking a little bit better, especially in run blocking. You started looking at other guys that started to play better. Our tight ends started to get at least a few catches. Blake Jarwin down the stretch was a lot better than he was the first half. And you saw other guys like Alan Hearns and Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup took a big leap as the season went on. So all these things changed for the Dallas Cowboys offense. And a lot of times when you see a coach that's on the hot seat, they'll look at how they finish up the season, how it's trending to determine whether or not that guy should go or stay. Because, a lot of times the team will start out really, really bad, but then all of a sudden they start playing better and they say, well, they're trending in the right direction. They're getting better, so there's hope for the next year. And that's where we are with the Dallas Cowboys. And when we look at next gen stats from NFL, you can see yards after catch percentage. Dak went from 41 to 54 with Amari Cooper. Tight window percentage 23 to 14. Completion percentage went from 62 to 71. So clearly there was a difference. And if you do not want to use that difference and you're just trying to go ahead and win your argument saying that Dak just sucks. Because here's what's interesting as I go through the numbers. I like to look at the numbers. And like I said, point scoring, Dallas Cowboys, 21.4 on the season, 21st. Philadelphia was only 20th. The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, were only zero point 0.7 points more a game than our Cowboys. But nobody talks about Carson Wentz in that offense now, do they? And you could look at the weapons that they had from Zach Ertz and, the receiving core they had. The offensive line of theirs was a lot better. But yet Philadelphia only had zero point 0.7 points per game more than the Cowboys. But if you look at this trend here, take a look at this number. Over the course of the last 3 games, the Dallas Cowboys averaged 27.3 points. Interesting. So they're definitely trending up. And technically, if you go through and you go ahead and add up the points that they scored the last 8 games, including the goose egg that they got against the Colts, they averaged 23.12 points a game. It's a lot better than what they did the first half of the season, because if you actually go through at 23.12, it doesn't move them up a lot, but at least gets them right there behind Green Bay in scoring points to 15th. Okay, not world beating, but clearly a little bit better than 21st. Now here's another interesting statistic for you. Total yards per game, because part of the Cowboys' problem was also red zone. We end up settling for field goals a lot of times when you want to get touchdowns. And if they can cure that, then that's going to be a big step forward. But here's the thing. Yardage per game, and this is the argument. You don't pay Dak Prescott because they can't, move the ball and everything else, yada, yada, yada. Well, again, Dallas is down here at 22nd at 343 yards average per game, which is 22nd, which technically is right. But again, if you go through and you look at before Amari Cooper and after Amari Cooper, and you look at the trend, the last 3 games, they averaged 369. But I'll go one better. The last 8 games, they averaged 370. And where does that actually rank? Right here. In front of Green Bay. So if your argument is the Dallas Cowboys, well, sorry, I didn't zoom that up. But if your argument is that the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott, if you go by the season in totality, yeah, those numbers are abysmal. But you have to understand that they were trending up. We started out with our offense, because if you had gone through and you look at what we were doing, 317 yards. What we started out the season at, we were about 26 in offense. We ended up at 22nd, but the numbers would actually put us at 10th. So you're looking at that offense that's trending and it's getting better. And even with our passing game, we ended up with 253 yards the last 8 games passes per game. Now, one thing I will also note in here is when you start hearing about Amari Cooper talking about wanting 2,000 yards, adding a Randall Cobb, getting Jason Witten back, there's only so many plays for this offense. And one of the other trends that you have to look at is in the first half of the season, the Cowboys averaged 128 yards running the football. The second half, as Amari Cooper and the passing game started picking up, that dropped to 116. Now, I know 12 yards doesn't seem like much, but now you're adding, Jason Witten, who's going to take a piece of that pie on third downs and things like that, possession receiver. You're going to take a Randall Cobb, who I think is going to have a better season than, say, Cole Beasley. And you're going to see Michael Gallup, I think, galloping down the field and catching some big plays. What you may start seeing is our running game actually numbers shrinking a little bit more, and our passing numbers. Because I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to surprise a lot of people this year. And I think they're going to open up the offense a lot more. That, with that success that they started having with more passing, with better receivers and things, that they're going to look at that, or Kellen Moore's going to look at that and say, I've got a lot of great toys to play with here. I've got a great set of receivers. I can do those 4 wideouts, okay? I can go ahead and go in and start throwing the ball around. And that's going to open up the holes for Zeke Elliott. But they also may start looking at it and saying, we don't want a Todd Gurley situation with Zeke Elliott. So as you start passing more and being more successful, your running starts coming back down. So there's a perfect balance in there that you want to have. But you can best believe, especially with Zeke kind of being possibly suspended, that you're going to see a lot more passing numbers and a little bit less running numbers. But we'll have to wait and see. For all I know, this could all be smoke and mirrors, and we just go to a ground and pound offense with Kellen Moore. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, I got to get on to DC and do some work, and then I got to get ready for the live stream tonight. Be sure to tune in, 9 o'clock Eastern. We're going to have a ball. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.